Hi, everyone. I'm Sebastián Pizar from Universidad de la República. I will present our study on the effects of an evidence-based software engineering undergraduate course. In 2016, we started thinking about creating an EBSE course. It was a really interesting exercise for me because before that, it was really hard to learn systematic review on my own. So we made an explicit effort to create our training with the student in mind. We conducted a systematic review and found only 14 studies reporting experiences of EBSE training. We took ideas from all of them to create our course. Later, when Barbara joined our research project, she was really interested in investigating the possible effect of our course. You know, this is what was really new because only 2 of the studies found by our systematic review reported some benefit to the students. Moreover, to our knowledge, we found only 3 EBSE uses in non-academic context, and only 1 of them reported some stakeholder feedback. So, in conclusion, there are very few studies about the impact of learning or using EBSE. However, it is very important to study the EBSE effects in practice if we want to improve EBSE adoption. About the context of our study, our university, Universidad de la República, is the main university of Uruguay, a small country in South America. The university is public and free of charge. We have a 5 years computer science degree. 5 years ago, we created a non-mandatory EBSE and systematic review course that can be taken after the 3rd year of the degree. Full details of our course can be found in our previous paper on the Empirical Software Engineering Journal. About the course, well, after finishing it, students should understand main EBSE concepts, identify software engineering problems that can be addressed by using evidence, read secondary studies, and participate in the conduct of systematic reviews. To build the course, we created more than 50 learning outcomes to guide the design and the student assessment. Learning outcomes are knowledge or skill that the student will achieve by the end of the course. You can see an example there. You can read them, the learning outcome as the student will achieve or will be able to describe the protocol sections of a systematic review. Each week, we teach a student EBSE concept that they have to use in their practical assignment. We follow up their progress and help them if needed. We have 2 research questions that you can see there. We consider that the course adequacy is related to the achievement of the learning outcomes by the students. And we assessed this through teacher evaluations of the student assignments and the perception of the student themselves. Also, we consider any change in the student after taking the course as effect of the training. These possible effects were investigated surveying the student. We collected data in 3 different waves. The amount time between the waves was chosen for convenience. We wanted to allow enough time for participants to encounter opportunities to use their training. We also collected some demographic information about the students. Almost 90% of them were male. As you can see, our course and also our degree are another example of the gender gap in STEM. Most of our students were working in the industry and the majority of them holding technical positions. Our university is free of charge and there is a lot of demand of IT workers in our country. So this is why most of our students had part-time or full-time jobs in their last 2 years of studies. Our results confirm that the course was adequate and consistent over the 3 years. Moreover, all who reported using IPSI evaluated the course as adequate. We think that this is very important. We also believe that the learning outcomes we created and the course itself could be used as a starting point for more formalization of EPSI training, as we have seen in other fields, where there are, for example, a set of core evidence-based practice skills. About the possible impact of the EPSI training, first, it's good to mention that we had a very high response rate. Of the 44 students who took EPSI courses, 37 responded to the first survey and 29 to the second one. You can see the effects reported at least in 2 stages of our study in this figure. Also, in both surveys, students reported using new skills. The most related to awareness of research and scientific evidence, and information gathering and information literacy skills. EPSI training makes practitioners more confident in the value of scientific evidence and foster its use to support decision-making. This is the more important statement that we found in our results. As suggested by research in other fields, training appears to play a key role in the adoption of evidence-based practice. To our knowledge, this is also the first study that provides support to the potential of the proposals to use IPSI to bring practitioners closer to scientific evidence and collaborate in closing the gap between academia and industry. By now, curricular guides for an undergraduate student in computer science and also in software engineering don't consider evidence-based practice. But it's fair to say that more studies are needed to justify the inclusion of EPSI in those curricula. About future direction of research, well, in first place, evidence-based practice training in medicine is more effective if it is integrated with clinical practice. We think that this can be achieved in EPSI training, for example, by teaching using scenarios created together with practitioners. It's like industrial scenarios of use of evidence. We are trying to analyze data about one study we did last year about creating, together with practitioners, an industrial scenario for using evidence. We use this scenario to better teach students about the EPSI training. Well, also knowing the decision-making process in the software industry seems to be the key to orienting EPSI training to the needs of the industry. If you are interested in this work, you can contact us. We are trying to make available all the course materials, both in Spanish and in English. You will be able to check them or to even use them, so we can, as community, improve them. You can also join our research project on ResearchGate. In this project, we use several qualitative methods to contribute to improving the adoption of IPSI. Well, thank you.